What's going on, guys? This is cool. um, so I'm gonna make this video super raw. I'm going to try to be unbiased, like not throwing my feelings or emotions towards it or whatever. Um, I've been debating whether or not to even like record myself um, on this topic, but I just want to to record it and post this video for memories and for you know for entertainment. I wanna hear what people have to say about this. I wanna hear what people think about this situation. So this video is basically going over some of the some, you're a business owner, and it's not all fun and games. There's some interesting stuff that happens, and you truly get to see people's true colors. You know. So, anyways, so a little storytelling time. Like I said, I'm gonna try to keep my emotions and my thoughts out of it because I wanna get your guys' point of view. So, or your thoughts. So last year, 2020, uh, 2024, maybe like in the early spring. So probably like a year ago from now, I had this person reach out to me, ask me if I can come over and give them an estimate on plowing their driveway. So I Google searched the address and I'm like, oh wow, this is it's a big driveway. I'm interested because with my business, I'm interested in driving less and making more money because currently, the year of 2023-24 winter season, all I was doing was taking on as much as I could, so I was driving around all over the place. Similar to this year, but to kind of paint the picture for you guys. So I was interested in the driveway, and I was also nervous about the driveway. So I go over there, I meet the person, and I walk the driveway. And to help you guys out, the driveway is about 200 yards, um, and it's all uphill. And there's a good, as you get higher on the driveway, um, there's a right hand side cliff. So it starts off at level ground, and then by the time you're at the top of the driveway, you're 15-20 feet up next to this embankment. So on the right hand side, you got that dangerous embankment. On the left hand side, you have kind of like a drainage where the water can run. So that's kind of like a ditch along the left side of the driveway. And it's not a straight driveway either. It goes up and it's got S's and turns, and it's dangerous, and it gets narrow, and it wraps around the house, and there's steep inclines. So, anyways, I tell the person, what I would charge, and I told them a price that is less than what I should, but I'm still going through that learning phase of building my confidence up and explaining to people, like, you know this is what I think it's going to be because I know I'm going to do the quality job that you're looking for. And but where I'm at right now is I'm nervous and I want to try to like get the job, so I lower my prices. But Anyway, so I tell him my price, and he was interested, and he was like, "Oh well, um, I'd like to hire you for next year." And I told him, "Well, with my current situation, with my current plow that I have and stuff like that, my plow's not going to be able to do your driveway." So, he took that information, and at least he knew kind of a rough estimate on what he could get charged. And I told him, I said, if I get a new plow set up, I'll be able to help you out. So fast forward, 2024-2025 season has started. Winter, plowing season has started, and I don't hear back from this person, or I don't think I did. My old plow setup, it failed. I think the hydraulic pump broke on it. And within a day, I get a new plow set up. And then, like, out of nowhere, this person reaches out to me. So I don't know if, they saw like one of my posts on Facebook saying that I get a new plow set up or something like that. But somehow this person coincidentally reached out to me and was interested. Now, at the time, because of the plow situation failing and me having to find people to cover my plow, my routes, and my clients and stuff, I lost a couple of account, or one account, and that's a whole other story. But anyways, it was a coincidence because this driveway that I'm talking about is the same price as the one that I had just lost. So when he reached out, he was asking me if I was interested in taking on his driveway, and I was like, yeah, absolutely. So he told me that he would like his driveway plowed like immediately. And it's in the middle of the season. I think it was like the beginning of January, like the first week of January. So, me as a plow guy, I'm thinking like, oh, like I remember this guy, he probably took my estimates, hired somebody else, and something happened. Now he's interested in me going over and plowing his driveway for the remainder of the season. So, brand new plow setup. I've never used Fisher. That's what I have, Minute Mount 2. Great setup, but there's things that I had to get used to. Bigger plow, different technology, stuff like that. But anyway, so I go over to this person's driveway, and from the glimpse of it, when you pull up, there's fresh snow on it. So you're like, okay, well, there's a lot of snow in the driveway, and like I told you, it's dangerous driveway. You got to be careful, all these things. So, how I bill is I plow from 2 inches to 6 inches. Anything over 6 inches is subject to an additional fee all the way up to 2 times plowing. So when I get there, I start plowing, and there's well over 6 inches. So as I'm plowing, I'm having a really difficult time. I end up spending an hour and 5 minutes at this one person's driveway. Now the issue was they didn't have a plow guy prior. They had been snow blowing and just packing the snow down by driving on it. And that wasn't apparent until I was, plowing for at least 10 minutes on the driveway. And then for the remainder of the time, it was me just being frustrated, thinking that it was my plows that was the issue, because, brand new Fisher plows have a float technology rather than you just, push the button down to the ground and it stays on the ground and digs into the earth and all that stuff. It kind of like, floats. So, that's one thing that I don't like about it, but again, another story. So I'm thinking that it's my problem, but in reality, there's about 6 inches of compact snow that's in this person's driveway. Now, A little backstory to this is the person ended up reaching out to me and asking me if I could come plow because they actually tried getting up their driveway um, like the week prior, lost control of their vehicle, and it slid down their driveway into a tree and ended up causing a lot of damage to their vehicle. Now it needed to go into the body shop to get fixed, and so that was the reasoning why they reached out to me, not because they had a fallout with another company. So, like I said, I spent over an hour at this person's driveway, and I really felt bad for not being able to do the, you know, to get the job done. So, from the day he hired me, signed contract and hired me, to a week later, I had gone over there a total of 4 times to plow and 1 time to partially sand the driveway. Now, out of the 4 times, I only charged for 2.5 times of plowing, as well as a partial sanding. So, out of 4 times plowing and 1 time partially sanding, in total, I only charged, I believe, $210. Every single time I went there to plow, it wasn't because it wasn't me myself going over there as I pleased. I was being requested to go over there. So it's not like I'm just trying to go out and like plow and try to take money from people. I was being requested to go over. So I invoice every 2 weeks during the winter to help move money a little bit quicker, as this is my first winter going full-time working for myself. So anyway, so I bill out for the end of January, so my dates are all messed up, but anyways, I bill out, and part of the contract that I started with this person, for various reasons, not to do with this person, but all past experiences leading up to this, I've learned and I've adapted. So this person was my very first person that I had in my contract, that if you do not pay the invoice in full 30 days after I send the invoice to you, there's going to be a 5% interest increase every 7 days until the invoice is paid in full, if that makes sense to you guys. The reason for that is I want to help guarantee myself that I'm going to receive that money in a timely manner, so that I get it quicker, so there's no repercussions to the customer, as in like they get billed, they pay it, and therefore they don't have to pay more. So I send out the bill to them, and I want to say like 15 days had gone by, or maybe even 3 weeks had gone by, and I received partial payment. I received $105, which is half of the invoice, and that was the first time ever in 3 years that my business has been operational that I had ever received partial payment, unless it was for deposits, or pay up front half and pay me. So I received partial payment, and me as a business owner, I'm like, okay, like, you can only pay what you can pay, as long as you pay the invoice, it's fine. And then for the next 30 days after that, last month, we didn't have any snow. Like, I picked and chose only a couple of accounts to actually take care of because we just had so little snow. So now it's been 42 days since I sent the invoice. And on that 30 days after I sent the invoice, I sent a reminder email saying, hey, you have an outstanding invoice that needs to be filled or completed. So not only do you send out the original invoice, but then you also send out a reminder email letting them know, like, hey, you still have an invoice that you haven't paid, and part of the contract was to add interest. So a few days ago we had I want to say the last snowstorm of the winter, March 29th. So this person reaches out to me 2 days prior and asks me if I would take care of their driveway. Well, from a business standpoint, you as a client signed a contract stating that I will be out to plow your driveway, until the end of the season. So from my standpoint, absolutely. But from the customer standpoint, we haven't been plowing for a month now, and they're just looking to make sure that I'm going to be there to take care of the driveway, So I understand both sides. He's looking for clarity and confirmation that I'm actually going to take care of the driveway. And from my standpoint, of course I am, because I'm in business to make money, and you signed a contract, so I'm going to perform those duties to that contract. So I let him know that I'm going to be out there, and he said, awesome, thank you. So since the contract was signed, since I started working for this person, we've had multiple times where when I go there, vehicles are parked at the bottom of the driveway because the person can't get up the driveway, because I've been slowly scraping away all that compact snow so that they can. And in that 4 times, the original 4 times that I had gone out there, I did end up getting it down to the point where you could drive up it in like an all-wheel drive vehicle or a four-wheel drive vehicle. But the person continues to park down at the bottom because they have a rental vehicle that's only 2-wheel drive or front-wheel drive, and safety to the rental vehicle, all that stuff. So month goes by, they ask me if I'm going to come plow, So knowing all of this, I anticipated the vehicles being at the top of the driveway, but they weren't when I got there. So the best thing I possibly can do is I want to give a little bit more detail. So by the time I get to his driveway, the storm is done, and it's around 8 o'clock in the morning. And I try calling the person to let them know that I'm going to be there, and that because of certain circumstances, I didn't feel comfortable plowing the entire driveway, and that I only felt comfortable plowing the first half of his driveway before it starts getting to the more dangerous side of his driveway. A lot of different reasons why I didn't want to. Most importantly, the safety of me, and also the safety of him. And secondly, for the growth of my business, and making sure that I didn't get stuck, so that I could go out and take care of the rest of my clients. So I tried calling him. He didn't answer. And I tried reaching out to him through Facebook. So I had seen that the person was active like 20 something minutes prior, so I knew that he was at least awake. I know that it's being a Saturday, that people do like to sleep in, it's their weekends, but knowing that he was active, I figured that he would have answered, but he didn't. So that's all I could do. And I'm driving a vehicle, so it's not like I'm gonna pull over and text somebody and let them know that I'm 5 minutes out or 10 minutes out from their driveway. So I get there, the vehicles are at the bottom of the driveway, so there's only you know 20 yards that I can actually plow. Um, and I've done this in the past, and then I just charge for, like a plowing their entrance fee, and then I move on. So I'm there, I plow the entrance, and while I'm plowing, the person texts me, hold on, let me come down, I'll move the vehicles. Well, you know, unfortunately, your driveway is a long driveway, so you've got to walk through all that. Secondly, all three of the vehicles that are in the driveway all need to be cleaned off and then started and then moved. Now, I didn't even see this text message until I had already left and I was driving to my next driveway. So I plow the entrance, he texts me, I move on. I'm halfway to my next client, and then I see that he had texted me saying, "Wait, let me move the vehicles." So I voice noted to him, "Hey, like the reason why I tried calling you was to let you know that I didn't actually feel comfortable doing your entire driveway. That what I had done was actually what I wanted to do originally, for various reasons." And I told them all those reasons, as well as I told them that the next couple of days is going to be warm and raining. The ground's going to thaw. Not the ground, but the snow's going to melt and all that stuff. So, and then the person responded back saying, "Oh, yeah, that's actually really smart. I get your point." And that was that. I thought the conversation was over. Well, about 30 minutes later, the person texts me again saying, "Well, let me know when you're going to come back out." So I read the message, and I had no intentions on coming back out, especially after we had confirmed that I wasn't going to plow your driveway entirely, you know, and you essentially said that you understand why. So I go about the rest of my clients, and a lot of other things happened, and I'll leave that out. So anyway, so that person asked me to let him know when I would come back out so that he could move those vehicles. He asked me the question, please let me know when you're going to come back out. So hours later, I finish up everybody else, and I'm doing another drive out to the town that he's in to take care of other clients. So I voice note him, "Hey, I'll be there in about 30 minutes. This is your heads up." So I go and I plow one other driveway, and I'm currently plowing that person's driveway, and then I'm actually pulling out of the driveway to head towards this person's driveway. And he messages me saying that he has a meeting at 12 o'clock and a meeting at 1 o'clock, so it's not going to work. Now, he messaged me at 12:04 with that message. So, one, I had no prior information to this, and two, all I was doing was responding a half hour ahead, letting him know that I was going to be there. So when he sends me to this, now I'm back in the same town, heading to your driveway for the second time to take care of it upon request. And now you're telling me last second that you're not going to be available. And his exact message was, "I have meetings at 12 and at 1 o'clock. How about if you come back out at 2 o'clock. So I thought about it for a few minutes, and then I reached out to the person and I told them that that's not going to work. It's not going to work because I don't feel comfortable doing your entire driveway. I said that the first time, and then you asked me when I was going to come back out, so then I notified you to let you know when I was coming back out, and then you tell me, after the fact, not before the fact, but after the fact, that you're unavailable. So now I've come out for the second time, and you're not going to be able to move your vehicles, and now you're asking me to come back out for a third time. So I said that that's not going to work. These are the reasons why it's not going to work. And then on top of that, you still have an outstanding invoice that you haven't paid in full from 42 days prior. And then I suggested that the only thing that is going to happen is the snow is going to melt, because at this point, I'm over it. Because of past things with this person, as well as the current stuff that is going on. So that's what is going on. And the person ended up responding, like a half hour, 20 minutes later to my message, letting me know that as soon as they get money that comes in, they'll pay off the rest of the invoice. And that's that. So I'll leave it at that. And I want to hear what people have to say. This is a longer video. Maybe people actually watch it. Maybe people will, comment on it. But let me know what you guys think. And this is more of a, memorable situation, so that in years future I can look back and watch this video. I've never done anything like this before, so there's been I'm in business, so there's plenty of stories that I could talk about, but this is just like, still hot off the press, still in my mind, and I just decided, hey, like, as long as I'm very generic and I'm not trying to call this person out or blast them or anything like that. It's more so to just let you know some of the things that as a business owner you go through. And again, like, it's not all fun and games, and running a business, running a brand new business, an extremely small business is, it's tough. And this is just like one of those examples. But yeah, so let me know. And if you guys want more, videos like this where I just explain situations, let me know. Because, it kind of feels good to just, like, release some of the things, and also, hopefully I get to read and hear what people's opinions are on this situation. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And one last thing, I'm trying to get this YouTube channel up to 500 subscribers. That would be a good milestone to hit. So if you guys don't mind subscribing, that would really help. So thank you guys. See ya.